How goes it? I think it's a beautiful morning, and I hope you do too, because we have more work to do. Today, as you can see, we're going to do a few more text features. Now, the reason we're doing this is because I think text features are a really important thing to know how to use. Textbooks, as you know, they're big, they're long, and sometimes a little bit boring. But if you know how to use text features, you'll know how to study them really easy, because the fact is, they're not designed to be read straight through. They're really not. You're not supposed to memorize everything in them. Memorizing, I always say, is a party trick. But knowing how to use text features will help you in all your other classes too, because every class has a textbook. And if you know how to use the features from those, you'll know how to study from them really, really easily. And that includes today's. So we're going to get started on a few more, because the more text features you know how to use, the easier it's going to be. We've covered line numbers. You know, they're those tiny little lines that come at the side of the text, and they let you know where to find things inside of a page. They help you find really specific information. We've done these words that you can find in the margins. Not every margin has a word in it, but there's always a big white space on the side. And sometimes you'll find vocabulary words there, and the book helps you to find things that might not be familiar so you know what they mean. So those are margins and boldface type. There's a few more of these text features. The more you know, the more you can use, the better off you're going to be, I promise. So here's an example of one. Here's the most obvious text feature. How do you know what you're reading? That, usually we call it a title, but I think you're going to find, especially in nonfiction texts, ones that aren't stories like your social studies or your biology class, and sometimes what we read here, they call it a heading. Now, the way I remember that is your head is on the top of your body. Well, if you think of the text you're reading as the body, the title's also the heading. Just so you're not confused later if someone says, read under the heading this, or find the heading that says X and such, you'll know it basically means the same thing as title. Now, that brings us on to the next most important text feature. What do you see under that title? What do you see under that heading? There's a name. That's obviously the author. You gotta know who wrote things. If something was written, that means someone did it. If you wrote something, you would want people to know. That's why we tell you to put your name on everything, so other people can know who wrote it and we can grade it. But that's just basically the author. One more to look at here. I think it seems real easy, but it's pretty important because it's one of the main ways you find your way around a text, so you're not just flipping through it endlessly. What do you see here in the tip-top right-hand corner? Right there, it's a little number. Not a random number, not a lottery number. That is, quite frankly, the page number. They're always in the corners. They're never right here in the middle where you can't read anything else. You can also find them in the bottom. Whatever the case, it's the page number. I know it seems obvious, but I've more than enough time seen people endlessly flip through. Where was that again? The more numbers you know, the more page numbers you're going to know, the better off you'll be. So those are the basics of text features. Almost done learning those. But today's assignment, I want you to start. I sent out a a quizzes link, and that's going to give you a lot of practice using these and using them quickly. If you can use them quickly, you can study quickly. So you're going to practice using a quizzes called Text Features Hunt. And when you're done, there's something I want you to remember. Keep track of your score, because I'm going to ask what that is when you get around to today's assignment, which is called Text Feature Hunt. It's located in the Google Classroom, and it looks like that. And I think you're going to do great, because as always, you got this.